Aí, ó, ó, ficou bonito, cara. Eita. Ficou bonitão, velho. Primeira vez que eles fazem um deus bonito, cara. Ah lá, ele vai ter o ativo lá, o consumível único dele. Ficou bonito, cara. Ou se todos os deuses fossem com esses modelos assim.
In the potion. This is our first time getting a chance to see him in game as well. I love this. He's just like randomly snapping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got a tune playing in his head.
Yeah, he sure does.
All the time.
Yeah, he has a lot of really cool animations like this.
Ficou legal, cara, o designer dele.
That party spirit.
Ó.
So, of course, to get the party started, he's going to share that rum with his whole team. If Baron is on your team,
aí você olha pra Artemis com aquele modelo lindo dela, você fala assim, mano.
Everyone on the team can get this as well. You don't have a limited number.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Ficou legal, gostei.
Bonus just for having Baron on your squad. Wait, was that his regular?
Parabéns, Irans. Finalmente fizeram alguma coisa. Sirius é o Coringa.
So cool.
Parece, né?
My man is nimble.
Yeah,
like he's got some moves.
He's smooth.
He really is. Look at that. Oh man, I love this character so much already. All right, so you said there's 2 parts to Hysteria. What's the second part?
Right. So the second part is we didn't want to exclude anybody from the party, so we wanted to make sure that
é um mago, né? Já dá pra saber que é um mago, né?
And so Hysteria is basically a stacking debuff that gets applied from all your abilities and your auto attacks that ramps up over time. You can kind of think of Hysteria as having 3 different stages. There's basically like no Hysteria, some Hysteria, which is about 30, and then max Hysteria. When you're at no Hysteria and you're just using your abilities,
ele vai estocando a histeria no cara, né? O que que acontece? Tem um medidor de histeria ali, vocês puderam observar isso? É, Night Ghost falou que ia ser um item, verdade, Night Ghost. E pá, beleza.
All of your damage sources end up doing an extra 25% more damage.
Okay, so you really want to hit
vai estocando histeria, ó.
A lot of stuff or everyone with at least a little bit to make sure that you're spreading this hysteria fairly effectively. You can see the little bar there on the right-hand side. That's how you keep track of it?
Right.
Yes. And there's definitely an emphasis on trying to focus probably one target.
Okay.
Because when you hit that person or that one target,
tá full.
there's a lot of effects that end up being
applied.
O que
acontece com o cara?
So it's really good to ramp it up on at least one person.
Yeah, it looks like it takes a little bit, at least just from auto attacks, in order to get that up there. Abilities will apply Hysteria as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, the Hysteria will start decaying over time, as long as Baron hasn't hit you within the previous 5 seconds.
Okay, cool. And Ben, this looks like it's easy to see, but also not particularly intrusive. What were some of the design iterations that you guys went through?
Ele não estoca só com ataque básico histeria, não.
Enemy characters.
Like the skull you're talking about?
Yeah, the skull in the meter as well, if you can talk
Lembro
about
sim,
that.
Diego Lucas, como esquecer? O dia que eu recebi a giromba. Eu achava que era um mouse, mas era um pênis de borracha.
Basically, he has this really cool crystal skull, and we were like, you know what, man, we want to have that be reused in areas where it makes sense. And then we saw a lot of the depictions are undead people and stuff like this, partying with those guys. So we wanted to have something that was representative of that, and a skull is kind of crazy,
sure.
So we thought it made sense for the hysteria thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly big or anything.
Tá mais dando as habilidades.
Too,
noticeable.
Yeah, it's not just a creepy skull. He's having a good time, you know.
Yeah, I was about to chime in with that too. The hysteria, although it's a debuff, it's infectious fun. You know, it's kind of making them go crazy in a fun way. So we have.
Olha, tio, mais habilidade número 1, hein?
I will point out that the skull animations and position are still work in progress.
Sure.
About the only two things today, and we still have some time to work on the god that are work in progress, are going to be the skull on enemies, and eventually when we get to the
Maldamba do Paraguai, que isso?
We're attaching other models to other characters, so those are still work in progress. But the abilities are all functioning.
E seu Jin não morre, deu plays. Eu acho que ele tá ali, ele não morre não.
I think Chaos explained the core of it really well, but it really brings to a whole bunch of different play styles.
So usou a poção, o que essa poção
order
faz?
Your abilities in any order you choose to help build up to get that hysteria in one combo.
Okay.
So, if you do 3-2-1, you'll most likely get the buffed 1. But if you do 1-2-3, you get the buffed 3 on a fresh target. And that can play out completely differently depending on how you like to play or what type of target opponent you have. Also, the hysteria builds slowly and lasts a long time. So if the fight is lasting a long time, or if you're playing and rotating a lot or playing him in non-conquest modes, you can really spread it out and try to keep it on all the enemies and make your overall team fight presence way stronger.
We use those extra effects on the abilities.
Yeah, you also will see it. You can you'll often change your mind in combat a little bit with him. You'll throw out some abilities into a team fight. You maybe hit someone you don't expect, and now you see that skull, you see that meter. You go, okay, that's my guy now.
Right.
Because you know you're going to get all the buffed effects on that target.
Yeah.
So it really
Você ainda
adds
tem
a
giromba?
lot
Não,
of
eu joguei lá
creativity to
fora.
his playstyle and a lot of quick decision making.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. More options usually means these characters
Joguei
that
fora.
have flexibility, but also get those really
Quem ganhou de
high
Portugal ou
skill
Espanha?
cap
Espanha.
options, and that's
Embora
something
esteja
I'm
torcendo
very
pra
excited
Portugal.
about.
All right.
Let's look at the one. This is
Yes.
probably one of
Primeira
my favorite
habilidade,
abilities in the
vamos lá.
whole kit. Vivid Gaze. Look at that targeter. Very. Oh, moves.
Que
Okay.
isso.
So this is a totally different
Vai lançar as
type of
caveirinhas.
shot here. So they two skulls show up and shoot out crosses.
E aqui pra flipação parece dar mais dano pra ele.
Shoot them.
Yeah.
But it's
So-
very mobile. on this
Eita, pô, as
What you're
caveirinhas dão
seeing here is
raio
two
laser.
beams shot from the crystal skull's eyes. That's their gaze.
As
And this is
caveirinhas
a
do raio
damaging
laser,
ability.
cara.
It overlaps, and so you can hit targets in that sweet spot, hit with both beams, and you can scale that in or out.
Okay.
So if you hit with both beams, it's going to deal less damage on the second hit, as is pretty common in Smite.
Right.
So this is basically his core lane clear poke ability, and the Hysteria bonus is actually a power decrease. So
Oh,
if the
okay.
target is hysterical, when you hit them with this, they're going to get % reduction of their physical and magical power and % attack speed reduction.
Okay.
So this is kind of his preventative.
Nossa, diminui
attack.
ataque speed
Yeah,
pra
not a lot
caramba.
of spoiler alert. Not a lot of mobility on this god, so this is something that will give him a little bit of help in those team fights. This ability is crazy fun to use, and probably one of my favorites. It does make his lane clear a little bit risky, I think, but it's a lower cooldown, right? So we can use this a lot.
Right.
Perfect.
And Chaos did quite a bit of cool work on this just to make sure this scaling targeter tech works really well. And we're hoping to reuse that in some more things in the future to make really more unique targeters in Smite, which is really fun.
Yeah, what's really cool is that basically both of these different skulls are independently controlled.
Finalmente
and
um
they
deus
actually do
bom.
different
Não,
things.
mas
For
Xenobog é
this case,
legal, cara. Só o
first use
ultimate
case
dele
for
que
this
às
kind of
vezes
tech
é meio
was having the two
ruim.
deployables that fire these
Mas
things.
é legal o
But
Xenobog.
what's really cool is that they are completely independent of each other, so we can control them different ways.
That's really dope.
And we love making unique targeter shapes.
Right, and you can tell where it's going to hit before it actually ends up hitting. So if you have a quick reaction time, you can leap away, Aegis dash.
Good warm-up feedback, yeah. And we went with the X just because the crossroads is a very key theme for Baron, life and death.
A praga que ele coloca é
So
histeria, ô
wanted to show
Gaguinho.
that off too.
All right, awesome. Next up is Consign Spirits. So Consign to
Segunda habilidade
get them to help
dele.
you out a little
Em
bit in
área
this
também.
regard. Get a little bit of a
E cura.
circle targeter that has a little bit of a delay, but it looks like something came
Legal.
back to Baron there. Does he get something from this?
Yeah, so basically when he's guiding these souls to this spot and he's putting them to rest.
Cura aliados também, ó. Se aliados estiverem por perto, cura.
And fly to any nearby allies that are either by the target.
Já vou fazer uma coroa de Lotus, né, cara? Um bastão Asclepio, vou ter que fazer essas paradas aí. E ainda aumenta o movimento. Legal.
So of the heal that you're getting.
São bons suportes, né, cara?
You get healed more. It's not about your enemy.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Já faço a coroa de Lotus, o bastão
And
Asclepio
basically,
já vai
if
ficar
you're
legal.
over that min hysteria threshold, that 30, then the souls also bring back a cleanse of slows, immunity to slows, and a move speed buff.
Oh, okay.
So you can see that swirl at his feet. That
Right.
will not occur if you hit a fresh target, but if you hit a hysterical target, you will get that movement speed. And that is his only
Legal.
mobility in his kit, is this conditional have to hit.
Então, até os aliados caíram no efeito
Second or
Aput.
3
É, o
second
Aput
speed
vai
up.
ser
Yeah,
counter,
it's a
né,
pretty
Speed
cara?
buff, though.
Right. Okay.
So what we really wanted to do here is
Aput
design
vai
a
fazer
true
estragos se tiver ele na
You
partida.
have to
Fala aí,
hit the
Ericles,
enemy
beleza?
god.
Right. So
To
no
get any
minions,
healing here.
no jungle camps.
Right.
Tiver um
Just
Aputzinho.
dots.
And if
Lembrando
you
pra
hit-
galera
if
do
you
YouTube,
hit
tá rolando
any
sorteio
one
lá na
god,
Twitch,
it'll
tá?
heal everybody
twitch.tv
once, there's no scaling.
/tvsirius.
So it won't heal you twice for
Right.
two.
Vocês digitam exclamação sorteio no chat, tá valendo o bundle do Ymir, beleza?
Heal that scales off of missing health. So if Baron is almost dead or one of his teammates are almost dead, this heal is more potent,
Gotcha.
which
So-
is really cool and encourages
Não
his
se
stay in the
esqueçam.
combat and stack those debuffs playstyles.
Right, and very. I mean, this heal seems to be pretty
Nossa,
solid there
cara.
overall. I
Esse
mean,
personagem vai
140
ser legal, é
just
dos
the flat
estilos de
heal
personagem que eu
1
gosto,
plus
tá ligado? Que esse
15%
personagem você pode fazer uma build
You can make
muito
some clutch
louca pra
plays.
eles e...
Yeah, I mean, we were playing support Baron a lot
Arregaçar,
and stuff
velho.
like that, and he can be slippery with this, and he can heal back up and turn the fight
Já
around.
tem a build
real
aqui na
well.
cabeça.
And just for the theme,
Se os
we wanted
Smite
to
na
make
home
sure
da
he's
Twitch,
putting
tá
souls
nada.
away and they're going to people. Baron does not like just releasing things. He's not like Hades or Opwatch just releasing undead. He's
Right.
very much about laying people to rest and finding a
E aí,
way to
Sagosa?
It
Beleza?
looks like
Teammates there.
the timing for the combo of the 2-1, they'll if you deploy them one after another.
Pra fazer ele
they'll
com
hit right around
defesa,
the same
dá pra
time.
colocar uma
It's a
defesinha nele.
Pretty solid burst on an enemy target
You can.
with good timing, but not easy. All right.
Pode
third
fazer a
ability
bota
is
azul.
Wrap it up.
Aí depois você
Uh,
faz
it
coroa de
shoots off a
Lotus.
snake that will
Pera aí, vamos
go
só ver
to
isso
the enemy
daqui.
target. and do some different things based on the hysteria level. It looks like that snake is staying on them for a little bit. Ends up building a pretty good amount
Aumenta
of
pouco da
hysteria as well.
histeria. Será que é só esse o efeito que dá? Dá dano por tique, legal.
Sure.
Scare you. Or excite you, I guess, depending on what type of person you are.
It's true.
So we wanted to bring something unique to Baron. You know, he has a very clear depiction, but we also want to bring something that was our own. Something from a little bit more Smite. So we added this.
Fala aí, Dragon, beleza?
You know, it add a lot of flavor to just his
Ah, dá enraizamento também, ó. Dá rootzinho ali, ó.
When he's like tapping his feet, the snake.
Bacana. Ó, você pode fazer nele, né? Que eu tô pensando. Eu vou fazer bota azul, coroa de lótus, gema de almas, gema de isolamento, pedra do vínculo. E aí o último item eu preciso ver a ultimate dele pra ver o que dá pra fazer com a ultimate dele. Mas é basicamente o que eu vou fazer. Eu não vou fazer stack nele. Só o stack de gema de almas. Que é o stack de jogar habilidades, não o stack cumulativo. Vamos ver o que a ultimate dele faz. Eu acho que fica legal assim. Nossa, se os caras estiverem perto, passa pra eles, é isso? Eita porra. Não tenho tickets pro sorteio, mas o primeiro ticket é de graça, o Gabriel Felipe. E aí, Striker, vai ser lançado sem ser essa terça-feira, a outra terça-feira ainda, cara. Ou na quarta, enfim, tem que ver que dia que eles vão decidir lá. Olha que doideira, cara.
With this combo, but again, a lot of warning that you're about to get CC'd, whether you're the one hit by the snake or just next to your teammate who did.
Right, and what's really cool is
a jogabilidade dele é bem parecida com a da Discordia, só que ele não tem o escape da Discordia, né? Tem esse problema. Você vai ficar só castando habilidade ali na backline, entendeu? Castando habilidade, castando habilidade, castando habilidade. A 3 dele dá um dano por tique e também dá um enraizamento no adversário, entendeu?
Sure, still working on it.
But the effects and the functionality of the ability are what you're gonna play, what you're gonna feel.
All right, well, let's get it right into the ultimate then. Baron, well, he's the
Se passar pro aliado, o aliado é enraizado 2 vezes.
And this one is
a ultimate dele, vamos ver.
That is so much cooler.
Ah, ele dá taunt, cara.
I love it that he pulls the crypt out of the ground.
Ele dá taunt nos adversários. E depois stuna no final. Nossa, então tem que fazer uma defesa nele, cara. Tem que fazer uma defesa nele, porque ele não tem escape, ele pode se expor. Então eu vou de bota azul, coroa de lótus, gema de isolamento, gema de almas, pedra do vínculo. E eu fecharia com o manto da discórdia. Ficaria uma build legal. Bem útil, né? Build de utilidade. O problema é que não vai dar pra fazer o bastão de cura, mas eu acho que não vai ser tão necessário assim. Só a coroa de lotus já vai ajudar um pouco o time, já vai dar um suporte bacana. Legal, gostei. Ou ser meu main, será, Night Ghost? Você vai ser main com ele? Já vão nerfar ele, será, cara? Vai ter que ter uma defesa, não tem escape. Como você puxa os adversários pra perto de você? Pode ser o da Discord ou pode ser espiritual, dependendo se tiver muito controle lá eu faço espiritual. Se não tiver muito controle, tiver burst, eu uso da Discord. O bom é que a redução de intervalo vai estar legal, né? Porque você vai ter a bota azul e a gema de almas mais o manto. Então você pega ali 30% de redução de intervalo. Que é bom, né? Você poder usar as habilidades mais vezes. Vai ser interessante, cara. Vamos ver como é que vai ser. Ele fica quantos segundos com esse taunt? Vamos contar então. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Acho que ele fica 4 alguma coisa. 4 pontos alguma coisa. Manda salve para o João e Luiz. Falei Claudiene. Salve para o João e Luiz.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
So, but you obviously they
You don't
wouldn't
go
get
through the
stunned,
wall.
right?
You
Right.
can't get pulled through, but you can take the damage and get stuck against the wall.
That's really, really cool. Sets up perfectly for his combination. He does look a little bit vulnerable during that, though, without any sort of mobility.
So he
he's
actually
slowed.
Recebendo
he
chamado
actually
uma hora
gets,
dessa, o que é
I'm
isso?
not sure the exact percentage, but he gets damage mitigation. It's
Okay.
percent damage mitigation. So
Alô?
you can't see what's it say on the percent.
I don't
Half.
think it's.
Looks like half.
No, it's 50.
Yeah, 50.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
they
he
take
takes-
half as much damage. He's pretty much a sitting duck there. You can unload on him still pretty easily.
Não.
So
Que
it's very
bosta é essa
dangerous
quando
for
ele
you to use
pesquisa
this.
aqui
It
uma
takes a
hora
lot of
dessa?
careful positioning.
Sai daqui.
But he is CC immune, and he's also moving slower. So.
Sure. Can you cancel it early when you're using it?
Yeah, you can right click to cancel out.
Okay. Cool.
Oh no, he broke
Clumsy.
it.
No.
That's what happens when you use infinite cooldown cheats.
Yeah. Yeah. That is no good. Let's take a listen to that voice pack since we just got a preview.
Porra, é essa? Responder pesquisa? Não vou responder pesquisa, não. Sai daqui, cara. Ele vai estar por um favor? Acho que não, cara. Esse daqui vai estar pra você comprar mesmo.
That's his taunt animation.
Com vários favors. Manda salve pra eu. Falei, Claudiane Soares. Seu aniversário tá chegando, Zagoza. Parabéns, cara.
This character.
Sounds like
Que bug, eu não vi.
jokes and laughs are still work in progress on
Yes.
this, which we saw on other skins. So we'll see those soon.
Right. Those will be up. Those will be up soon. But certainly the animation is.
Se o
good.
cara morresse no meio da ult, deveria entrar no caixão. É legal.
Man, the entire like.
Sirius, não tem como jogar agora no PC também, porque meu Xbox atualizou, mas não
fits so
consigo.
well together. He looks like he really is
Ué,
gonna be
Olavo,
a-
acho que
a
tem
full-on
como, cara,
party
não
to
sei.
play.
Boa tarde,
brings a lot
Bezemoff,
to the table.
beleza?
Chaos, I'll ask you this: if you were still on the enemy days,
Ele ganha mitigação de dano na
play
ult.
this god every game?
100%. Yeah, no, he's
Isso é
not.
legal, cara. A poção dele faz o que mesmo?
Too much, but
Não reparei.
he's a lot of fun.
Tem que ver.
There's a lot of unique ways to play him.
Esse daqui só é o primeiro momento que a gente tá vendo, né? Depois a gente tem que ver o patch note escrito pra poder
He's still a
entender
mage, but he could-
de
we've
fato o que
been
realmente
testing
vai
him a lot
acontecer
support
e
and solo
testar
and
ele.
stuff like that. He works really well with the tank
Mas
and
bem legal o
build.
personagem,
A lot
cara.
of his abilities require him to be in the middle of combat, be in the thick of
Difícil
things,
de-
which puts him at risk. So that build works pretty well with him.
de
But
se
if you're not doing any
movimentar com ele,
damage,
não
then
tem
you're not doing too
escape.
much either. So
Sure.
it's a tight
E aí,
balance
Cláudio,
there.
boa tarde.
And he's got very little mobility, so that the little tanky style can
A
help
poção
him
é como a
with that
poção
too, so
dupla, disse
keep
o
him from dying
Carlos.
too often.
Also, got to give shout outs to Scott Kletzka. He was a 3D character
Yep.
artist for this. This is his first God
First
bend. I
God,
mean,
he killed it, man.
man,
He killed it.
Incredible. Really, really awesome stuff. We got his recolor here. for you
Obrigado
to
pelos
check out
likes
as
na
well.
live do YouTube, valeu
Red Rum
mesmo.
is the name of this one.
That's a nice.
I love it.
And look, he's his zombie friend, or his skeleton friend.
Ah, já temos a recolor dele, a recolor dele parece estar legal também.
Just crowd surfing him.
Baron.
He is partying.
Always partying. Man, I'm so excited for this.
Se eles não conseguem entrar no sorteio, qual que é o erro? Exclamação sorteio. Entra lá. Quando ele sai, sem ser essa terça-feira outra.
Recolor in game. There he is.
Oh,
Ah, ficou legal a recolor.
So
Really
good.
pops.
It's a nice color scheme, so we really
O
want
modelo do personagem também ajuda,
Yeah,
né?
that's one of the deeper reds that we've
Yeah.
seen for
Yeah.
sure. I think in one of those skins, and it
He
makes
ha-
the skull
He
red.
has like a the skull gets red, and he has like this velvet kind of feel. So like there's a nice range of the red in the
Yeah.
actual suit.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Very textured
Yeah.
overall. The man, the dresses as he feels.
Ficou legal, a
as he
Harris
acts,
poderia fazer mais
smooth
personagens
all the way
assim, né?
across.
Com os designers
He's got his
bacana.
brew there as well. That's Baron Samedi.
And he's
for
got
you
his
guys.
cigar in his hat too, which he's often pictured with too.
Nice.
And a card.
Very, very nice. Can't encourage smoking.
Full damage, o
That's
burst
saying
vai
that.
ser alto.
I mean,
Vai,
it's more like
mas
we
você
just
tem
didn't
que
want him, like,
observar o que
carrying
vai
and having to
acontecer
deal
durante a
with it with his
partida,
abilities
né?
and, like, put it away and all that stuff. It was just like a bit much. So we made sure they're present there and we incorporated those types of things to his
Compensa
abilities.
fazer roubo de vida nele?
Just, like,
Faz a gema de almas.
holding things in his hands.
Just some
Vai
fire
aumentar o
red.
dano
So,
dele.
yeah, exactly.
Vai ter roubo de
he's gotta
vida,
be
redução de
prepared for
intervalo.
anything.
That's right, man.
Not all parties are the same vibe. I believe I just heard that we got the mastery card for him as well. We're getting those out early.
Temos já as
Yeah.
skins de
Look at
maestria
that.
também.
We've been doing this with the last few gods. We've been getting the masteries done on the same patch as the god launches, which is really cool. And
Okay.
props to Ben
Yep.
and his team for getting those things done.
So you guys get to show off that you've been grinding Baron ever since his release.
Olha a mamba negra do
Because
cajado
people
dele.
really do. They go
Oh, they do.
They go hard on some of these new gods, and we end up with diamonds in like the first week. So now you'll be able to show that off. even
Já
more
passou as
with
skins
gold.
sim. Inclusive o vídeo das skins tá no canal,
Which,
acho.
of course, his outfit looks great in all colors. So.
Yep.
The man couldn't look bad if he tried. It feels like.
Yeah.
I love the
eu
flare
colocar no
on the
canal lá.
collar right there. The deep V is a good look. You know? Not all of us can pull that off.
We really did want to go with this kind of flourishy and confident animation style and presentation. So, you know, if you read the blog post, you can see some of the other just outfits we tested with him and why we came up with this one in the end. And the animation team really went above and beyond just to add that personality and flavor into every bit of animation for him. His recall and his enter the arena are really
O vídeo das skins já tá no canal pra quem quiser ver.
Here after we look at this.
Yeah, should be able to take a look at
His
that.
lobby animation's really cool. We use the coffin in a bunch of interesting ways. His death animation's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's so good!
Oh, esse personagem ficou com o design realmente muito bonito, cara.
Stomps his feet, opens it up.
That's so snappy.
Se todos os personagens do jogo tivessem o mesmo cuidado que a Hi-Rez está tendo com este personagem, o jogo ia ser incrivelmente foda, cara. Em questão de gráficos, assim. O design dele ficou muito bom, cheio de detalhes. E, tipo, não é que o personagem tem detalhes ali que colocaram simplesmente por colocar pra poder deixar ele com mais coisas, entendeu? Porque cada coisa ali ficou legal, tá no lugar certo. Porque tem personagens que eu vou te contar, velho, não tem lógica os personagens serem feios daquele jeito, cara. Aquele Baco que eles lançaram, muito feio, velho. A reformulação do Baco ficou muito, muito feia, cara. Nada a ver, entendeu?
So many unique and creative ways. We're happy to see how they experiment with this god, but I think he is a solid mid laner with lots of applications elsewhere.
Whenever I was looking at the abilities,
Você acha que deveria ter deuses brasileiros? Poderiam ter, cara. Falei Guilherme Play, beleza?
Safety and lane clear. The one, did you find
Xenobog
yourself
ficou
standing right
muito
next to
feio,
the front of the
muito
wave
feio, tá
and
doido.
trying to hit the archers with the X, or like using one of the side
Não sei se essa é a
shots from the
intenção.
So I did it a little bit similar to how I kind of played Giannis, but it was more like I'm a little bit off to the side and trying to get the diagonal.
Estilo da arte
as
sem
many minions
sentido.
possible.
Okay.
Eu acho sem sal também. A única coisa legal dela é o urso.
Yeah, really awesome. And you're
Te mandei o
going
print do
one
jogo no
through the wave
Facebook,
most of the time,
beleza.
Yeah, I was maxing the one and then.
E aí, Michael Kill, eu respondi seu comentário lá hoje, cara. Eu lembro de você
Looks like
sim.
a really fun god to play. Very excited to get my hands on him. Speaking of,
O vídeo das skins já tá no canal sim, galera. Eu lancei
very
aí, ó.
excited to play him on the PTS. We don't have an exact ETA on when the PTS
Canal do
will be up, but
YouTube.
keep an eye on all of our official Twitter feeds.